What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Pilots Club, a podcast all about the first episodes of television shows and the many reasons why they may or may not be worth a watch. Every month, we pick a different pilot episode to watch and then discuss it here on our show. We release these episodes first and foremost to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/the Whatnauts on our $3 tier and above. And then 2 years later, we release these episodes to a wider audience on a public feed. So if you want to catch up on 2 years worth of episodes, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is the place to do that. When we first made the Pilots Club, it was a little rough around the edges, so we wanted to polish it up a bit and repackage it, so to speak, with this new intro. And eventually you will stop hearing me doing this pre-recorded intro, and I will just start saying it as we record each episode. But until then and beyond, please enjoy the show and what it grows into. Welcome back to number 20 of the Pilots Club, our Patreon exclusive podcast here at the Whatnauts. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means a ton.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. But yeah, this week on the show, we are talking about Winning Time. Let me get the full title up here. I have the Wikipedia page. Winning Time, the rise of the Lakers Dynasty. That's what we'll be talking about this month on the Pilots Club. My name is Kyle Springer. That's Melissa Wilkinson.
True.
Melissa, you are not really a sports person, from what I understand. I think you tried to have your dad try explaining some football stuff.
He did a good job, but there's
continued with that.
It's like being forced to watch like an episode of a TV series like way deep in. It's like you're gonna watch 10 minutes of last week's Doctor Who. I'm not explaining to you who Doctor Who is.
And what number doctor we're on and who played him in the past. And
right. All these legacies and franchises. I look at, and I could wrap my head around the more narrative aspects, but when I just look at the screen, I'm like, there's too much stuff happening. What do I focus on? How do you tell what's going on? But I thought about basketball. That's like 5 guys versus another 5 guys, which is way fewer people than there is in football. So I might have an easier time with that. Football, even though it's like football and baseball are what my folks love, but that's too many people. I got to start with this. What's the least amount of folks that I can see within one game of a major professional sport, please? Start me there.
Melissa, you will love tennis. And ping pong.
Only 2
or chess.
Absolutely. Chess is right for me.
Good stuff. Yeah, I grew up playing sports, watching sports, all of that good stuff. However, I was also the art student, and when I wanted to narrow in and focus on what I wanted to do with my life, it was the sports are slowly on a downhill as I don't really want to go work out, don't really want to do all that stuff. I just want to paint. I want to draw. I want to sculpt, right? So sports ended up not really being my thing. But I've always kind of been around sports. One of which was the Los Angeles Lakers. That was the basketball team that I followed growing up, and the one that my dad was a fan of. And that's partly why I picked Winning Time. I guess I put the emphasis on time again. Winning time. I'm not actually competing for time. I'm not winning.
That's what Doctor Who is
time.
About, I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking to myself earlier, it's like the Thing in the Fantastic Four, right? It's clobbering
A basketball
time.
looks like him.
Well, no, it's clobbering time, not it's clobbering time.
That's That's a really nice mnemonic. I'm happy that works for you.
Yeah. So if you guys are unaware, Winning Time is a dramatization of the late 70s, early 80s, like Lakers Dynasty, when Jerry Buss became the owner. They drafted Magic Johnson. Kareem is already on the team. Pat Riley steps in as coach. All of that stuff. I grew up like watching a bunch of those old games, watching those like the like championship documentaries on that stuff. So I was always familiar with that stuff. So that's partly why I wanted to get this show on the Pilots Club. But the second thing being that we really haven't covered much sports films or TV shows on the Whatnauts period. We did competitive eating with Chowdown Champs.
Right. These are the sports
Speed Racer
covered. Competitive eating.
Movie?
Speed Racer is sports. Queen's Gambit, that's sports.
Sure, chess, yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about Gran Turismo. That's a sport.
Yeah.
We ought to get. We've gotten into other like specific competitions, such as Drops of God, things that aren't sports, but have a level of you have to know what you're doing. You have to be skilled and have some element of natural talent.
Right.
You're competing against somebody. You have to have a love of whatever this thing is.
Yeah. And so yeah, I was like, we have to have some sports, something on here somewhere, at least one thing. We can be like, look, we did sports.
One sport has been done.
Yeah, one sport has been bald. And yeah, I think I went into this. I think I pitched it to you as like, this is a straight dramatization of these events. And I don't think it was until I was pitching it to you that you mentioned John C. Reilly is one of the main actors. He plays Jerry Buss. And that this was also kind of a comedy. And
yes,
I didn't know that until you mentioned it. Or until I pitched it, or who knows what, but I was not expecting that. And so I went into watching this feeling like my world was shaken. Like, this is not what I thought the show was. What is this show? So yeah, I have to ask, what did you think of this? Because this was not what I expected at all.
Me either. I had a great time. This is put together in a really interesting way. It's got two odd structures to it, which is that it's shot in multiple formats. Like, you've got sort of a traditional film look, and then you've got like old VHS cameras of the time and old like 35 millimeter like home video stock. And it'll cut between these different looks periodically throughout the episode. Yeah. And all of the characters will turn to camera and talk to you.
Yes, that is, I was not expecting that. When you were like, it's also kind of comedic, I was like, okay, they're playing up the like entertainment value. They were gonna put some jokes in there and stuff. Yeah, was not expecting a fourth wall breaking. They look at the camera and talk to you, the audience, and address you as the audience. It's not like
they know I'm there.
It's not like they're filming a fake documentary of the time or stuff like that. It's also not like the like fourth wall breaking that Deadpool really does, or the like meta-ness that She-Hulk does in the Marvel stuff. This actually reminded me more of House of Cards on Netflix, when Frank Underwood would look at the camera and he would speak directly to you, and you would have this like intimate moment with him.
But was he the only character in the show that did that? Because what I found fascinating is that just about everybody turns and says something directly to you. And I don't think I've seen it be that widespread and not a specific character choice, at least in TV and movies. I feel like I've seen that more in stage plays, that everybody will turn to the audience and talk to them.
Interesting. Yeah, that is the thing. In House of Cards, it is only the main character. And so yeah, you do feel like you have this like secret Bob Ross, like this is just going to be our little secret over here, right? That like it feels more like that scenario. But this was a lot more than I expected, and to be honest, I don't know if it was the right choice. That I think was the major thing that turned me off about this. Really, the only thing that I did not like about this first episode is that, yeah, everyone has a moment where they turn to the camera and say something. Where I think I kind of would have liked it better if it was only Jerry Buss, John C. Reilly's character.
It fits the best with him, but it worked on me in a sense of we're being let in on this massive legend. Yes. And at the end of this episode, there's a preview of what the next episode is going to be. And they talk about how we're really going to make this a show. We're not going to have cheerleaders. We're going to have dancers. We're not going to have fans sitting courtside. We're in Hollywood, baby. We're going to bring in celebrities. It's like if you were there at that game, you were really privy to something special. You had the ability to like rub elbows with a movie star or something. And
Jack Nicholson courtside every single game.
Absolutely. And that's the vibe it gave me. Like, I think that was the effect it was supposed to have. Like, hey, pal, just for you special person, we're letting you in on something pretty cool here that we're doing with these Lakers. We're telling you the inside story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it works. It was just not what I was expecting, and so it kind of like took me back. And then when it like Jerry Buss's assistant starts to look at the camera and be like, I hate him, right, and stuff like that, I was like, that almost feels more like a What We Do in the Shadows Guillermo situation. It started to get a little too silly. And then when they put like the characters' names on screen, it's like, this guy gets heartburn all the time, right? It's just like, what? Why do I need to know that? I don't.
It is a lot of different games going on at once. I can't understand that seems like you can't do the labels like that and the talking to screen and the old, suddenly it looks like an old video camera. I can't imagine somebody looking at this saying, pick one thing, pick one. But then maybe this is emblematic of what it was the Lakers tried to do. It's this sort of bombastic, truly balls
throw
to the
everything,
wall.
Against the wall. See what sticks. Yeah, I think you are right with that. I also like it. Beyond that, though, I had a great time. I loved watching this. I did like the stylistic, different kinds of film stock. I assume it was digitally made that way and not actually filmed on those things. It would be neat if it was.
Yeah, who knows?
Filmed, but I assume it's digital. Even still, it looks neat. Right, it looks of the time, which even if the stuff is not actual home footage, it does get you in that mindset. Even the way, that they have this, like, here's the 35 millimeter home video stuff that also makes you feel like, oh, I'm on the inside. I'm with the family. Like I'm privy to like behind the scenes, like secret stuff here. And yeah, that is really what they're going for. The actor that was playing Magic Johnson, I thought he did fantastic. Let me pull up his name. He did fantastic. This was Quincy Isaiah, who he doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. Like, you can't even click his name there. So yeah, I don't know if he's been in anything else or not. Let me see. Google. What is this guy doing? Quincy Isaiah, known for Winning Time. It looks like there's a few smaller things, but he's not been in much. This seems to be like his first big thing. I thought he did fantastic. There are certain scenes where, man, he looks exactly like young Magic Johnson. It's wild.
I don't know the man well. I can't say how well anybody resembles any of these people they're supposed to be, but
there's a few that are spot on. That's just like, wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
Energy-wise, not even knowing Magic Johnson, I know the man's nickname is Magic, and I look at this young performer, I'm like, you give me magic. Like, you are so endearing immediately. I'm very happy that's the person we're going to get to spend all this time with. And then I've loved John C. Reilly for 20 years. He's one of my oldest favorites since I made my mom take me to see Chicago in 2002.
Yeah. We didn't get to see him in the pilot, but Adrian Brody plays Pat Riley. That is another one that is just spot on. It was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. But yeah, like it's interesting because they like I start recognizing all of these names and stuff like that, and I know the name Jerry West. I know Janine Buss. I know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like all of that stuff.
Him, I know. He writes those detective stories.
He like even God, what was the guy they were buying the team from? What was his name? It was Jack Kent Cook, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Jack Kent Cook. So I've known his name for a long time too, but I know it as Jack Kent Cook. So when they're calling him Mr. Cook, I don't recognize it. When they call him Jack, I don't recognize it. When they even say Jack Cook, I'm just like, I don't know who this is. Like, I've never heard of this guy. And then it wasn't until like closer to the end when they do the scene with the swans. And he's like, you know what I love about swans is that they look beautiful and graceful up above the water, but underneath they're paddling up a storm, like they're just kicking and kicking. But yeah, in that scene, they call him Jack Kent Cook, and I'm like, I've heard that name. That's who that guy is. Good. I don't even know exactly how I know all of that, but I know the name. There you go. So yeah, it's just like this is it feels like for me like a weird uncanny valley type of thing where I know some of the story, I know the names, I know the players, I know what they look like, right? But also I don't really know the story. My dad had like books on books and stuff like that. He may have even had the book that this show is loosely based off of. But it's in this like weird thing of like certain times it's like, okay, the actor doesn't really look like the guy. Oh, but in that scene, wow, they nailed it. Oh my God. So yeah, I just had this like strange experience watching it, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun. This might be one that I have to come back to. So
I might return to it as well, amongst all the other TV that I have to watch. My roommate is a jock. I feel like now that this is in our max watch history, she's just going to have it on now. So I'm sure I'll catch it that way.
Yep, absolutely. I think something else that I enjoyed a lot about this is just kind of the emotional, like they do have the comedy, they do have the kind of fourth wall breaking stuff, but they do have some good drama in there too. There were moments of this that felt like episodes of Mad Men or Halt and Catch Fire, where they are like trying to figure out what job I should do, or do I want to work for this guy, or do I want to take a risk and work for you, or even Magic's character going to that party and playing Nixon in like a one-on-one game to 5 and kind of getting his ass handed to him in front of everyone, and just kind of the emotional weight that is having on him. And I forget who is playing Magic's dad, but I love that actor.
Oh, yes, also excellent.
Yeah, he's always great. Let me see if I can find Magic Johnson. Where is Johnson Sr.? We not see him? Irving Johnson Sr., Rob Morgan. Yeah, he's a fantastic actor. He's in all sorts of stuff. But even when Magic is having his kind of like woe is me moment, just the emotion and the love that you can feel from his father just trying to support him. It's just like, man, this is good. I like this. This is fantastic. So,
yeah, I like getting to spend time with that family. I look forward to getting to know the other players as they will be added to the team. I really like that when we meet Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they just do his scene from Airplane. We see him filming the movie Airplane.
Amazing. Like Great. That is maybe one of the best scenes in this pilot, is that they're recreating that, which is incredible. And it works too, because I just watched Naked Gun with my partner, and O.J. Simpson is in that movie.
Oh, yes,
and in this, he steps off after they cut, and they're like, so do we have to use this guy? Is OJ not available? And it's like the stuff with OJ is probably just happening like right now. Like, man, it's just like they really, like, I was not expecting to see that scene in there, and it was great. And it ends with "fuck off, kid," right as he tells the kid to go on. It was great. Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. Good stuff. Highly recommend.
Yes.
Any other stuff that you want to say about this, or are you on to say what we will do for this next month?
Yes, I have got our assignment for next month. We will be watching the pilot of something called The Amazing Screw-On Head.
Do you know what this is? I've never heard of this. No, not at all.
Oh boy. I have been wanting to do this pilot since we conceived of this show, and now is the perfect time to do it. Because this was a one-off animated special, supposed to be a pilot for a longer series that never got picked up, based off of a one-shot comic book by Mike Mignola.
Ah, cool. Okay.
You're going to look this up. It is animated exactly in that style.
Yep.
The Amazing Screw-On Head is a one-shot comic book written and drawn by Mike Mignola and published by Dark Horse in 2002, starring the character of the same name. The Amazing Screw-On Head stars a robot living during the Lincoln administration whose head can be attached to different bodies with different tactical abilities and who functions as an agent of the U.S. government.
Amazing.
An animated pilot based on the plot of the comic was produced by the Sci-Fi Channel in 2006 with Brian Fuller as writer and executive producer.
Yep.
That I did not know until I looked this up today. I probably knew this in 2006. That's like when Pushing Daisies was on. But I completely forgot about it since then. And the director is Chris Prynoski, which is a name I recognize maybe from Titmouse Studios. Like I've seen that name in the special thanks credits of episodes of the Venture Brothers.
Huh.
So?
Yeah.
interesting staff here. You can look this up on YouTube. It's 22 minutes long.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. I was looking up some of the images right now. This is, it's the Mignola's style. Absolutely. Cool.
Also, the voice of the amazing Screw-On Head is Paul Giamatti.
Wonderful. Oh, man. Cool. That is what we will do for October. So I think this will be perfect for a spooky month. On top of that, if you're keeping up with the review show, we are doing Hellboy for our end of the month special. So this will fit right in with all of that. Good stuff. Well, yeah, that is about it for our Pilots Club for this month. I guess we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. It means a ton. We love you a lot. We appreciate it. And we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.